Uh, Welcome students. In this lecture, we will be discussing about your queries related to electric discharge pumping. So, first of all, we have to give the answer to this question: why we need it? Why electric discharge pumping is needed at all? So we know that one pumping I discussed with you in the previous lecture was optical pumping. In case of optical pumping, we use beam of radiation. We use beam of radiation, and most of the time, this beam of radiation, if it is from an ordinary source of light, will be polychromatic. And kindly note that polychromatic light, which is in the visible region or near the visible region, it is better absorbed by energy bands. Energy bands, because suppose this is the ground level, this is the excited level, then for this we will require photon of small energy, then we can have photons of more energy. So all these excitations which I have shown, they will be requiring different energies. So if there is polychromatic light incident from outside of different frequencies, nu 1, nu 2, nu 3.
हेलो।
Yes, hello.
सर एक बार सर रिपीट कर दो सर, मेरा कनेक्ट नहीं हो रहा था सर।
ओके। तो हमने एक बच्चा है, दो बच्चे असल में कम से कम यहाँ पे इकट्ठे बैठे हैं, तो इसलिए उनकी डिवाइसेस एक में से साउंड निकल के दूसरे की डिवाइस के थ्रू आ रही है। तो काइंडली एक दूसरे से दूर होकर बैठ जाइए, तो फिर इको नहीं आएगी। सो व्हाट इज़ हैपनिंग, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल हमें वी वांट टू गिव द आंसर टू दिस क्वेश्चन, व्हाई वी नीड इलेक्ट्रिक डिस्चार्ज पंपिंग. For that, we need to understand why optical pumping is not applicable for all lasers. So, I was telling to you that in optical pumping we use a beam of radiation, and if you use ordinary source of light in optical pumping, then most of the times this beam of radiations will give you polychromatic light. And I have written here a statement: polychromatic light is better absorbed by energy bands, because in case of energy bands, this is, let us say, this photon is of small energy or frequency nu 1, this is nu 2, this is nu 3, this is nu 4. So in that fashion, the photons of different frequencies will take the atoms from ground level G to excited level E. Excited level is actually a band. So because of the broad band nature of the excited level, it will easily absorb polychromatic light. What will happen if the energy levels are sharp? Let us see what will happen if the energy levels are sharp. Okay, suppose this energy level and this energy level, their energies are well defined. So this is G, this is E, and you are having a photon, beam of photons, and different photons have different frequencies or different energies. Let us say this is nu 1, nu 2, nu 3, nu 4. Suppose this energy difference is, let us say, E2 minus E1. Suppose this energy is E2 and this energy is E1, and this energy difference, let us say, is equal to h nu, and it is actually satisfied by this photon. So I can write here h nu 2. So although there are four different frequencies incident on the material, but out of these, nu 1, nu 3 and nu 4 will be scattered, will give scattering, and only nu 2 frequency will result in absorption. So therefore, if the energy levels are sharp, then we can conclude that the absorption of polychromatic light is very less. As a result, pumping will fail. Such a pumping will fail to produce any population inversion. It will fail to produce population inversion. Now, we know that lasers, laser medium can be, there is a disturbance in the microphone of some student. Kindly all of you mute yourself. So the laser medium, I have to mute you all. Sorry, I have to mute you all. Okay, the laser medium can be solid, liquid, or gas. We have examples. There are examples of ruby laser and neodymium YAG. YAG stands for yttrium aluminium garnets. And we have liquid dye lasers, and we have already studied somewhat in my uploaded videos. You have already studied about gas lasers. Two gas lasers you have studied. One is helium neon laser, other is a CO2 laser. So we know that the laser medium can be solid or liquid or gas, but please remember that but bands energy bands in the visible range, energy bands in the visible range are shown only by solids. So there are no sharp energy bands in gases and liquids. Therefore, optical pumping is not suitable because optical pumping uses polychromatic light, and polychromatic light is absorbed only by bands, and bands are available only in the solids. So therefore, optical pumping is not suitable in general for solid state lasers. Hence, we need different mechanism to excite gas molecules. And that mechanism is one of them. It is not the exclusive mechanism, and that mechanism is actually electric discharge pumping. It is electric discharge pumping. If you are clear about this page, then please allow me to go to the next page. Can I do that? Okay.
Yes,
I,
sir.
okay.
Yes, sir.
So I'm going to new slide. Okay. Now we are sure that we are going to excite the molecules of a gas, and we are sure that this optical pumping is worthless for exciting molecules of a gas. And I have already given you the hint that electric discharge pumping is best suited in such cases. So suppose I want to excite gas molecules, and this is the excited level to which gas molecules have to be excited. Let us say this energy is E2, and this is the ground level from where the gas molecules are to be excited. Let us say the energy of this is E1. I want this energy gap. You know that energy gap in case of gases is not written in the terms of joules. Usually it is written in terms of electron volts. So this energy difference. So this energy difference in case of gases, usually it is written in the units of electron volt. So I would ask from you what energy difference you want. Any difference, energy difference. Kindly tell the answer in terms of electron volt. Only then I will move ahead. Should I take it to be 10 electron volt? Okay, 5
5
electron
electron
volt.
volt.
Let us say 5 electron volt is the energy difference. Kindly remember, this energy difference is not my desire. It was the desire of some student. Uh, फिर करा
सर ये
दिया
पिछली
तो
बार कराता सी
मुझे भी
था।
याद आ रहा है कि ये लिया तो था हमने यही एग्जांपल आई गेस.
हाँ जी सर, डायरेक्ट पंपिंग का क्या सी तुसी कि डायरेक्ट
And
पंपिंग कराओगे?
Ramneet Kaur Sekhon is asking about electric discharge pumping. Ramneet Kaur Sekhon, please tell, were you present in the last? You did not
Sir, I'm
attend
from
my previous
CSC1.
lecture?
Sir, previous lecture was
Okay,
taken by
CSC1
Nandini
never
ma'am
attends
and
my tutorials. Okay, I got it.
sir, once I attended and in that lecture only
Okay,
a
no
few
problem.
doubts were there.
Helium neon laser. Sukhman Preet Kaur is asking about helium neon laser. Sukhman Preet Kaur, I have already discussed that laser with students, and I have uploaded the discussion of helium neon laser on yesterday. You can watch that tutorial. Have you watched that tutorial? The same discussion was whatever you are asking. Okay, please check. I have already uploaded the discussion on helium neon laser. Let me therefore finish it very fastly, and then I will start with you direct pumping. Okay. Okay, suppose this is a gas molecule. Sorry, this is an electric discharge tube. Sorry for poor drawing. So this is, let us say, cathode, this is let us say anode, and we put here a battery, and this battery, if I divide this 5 electron volt potential difference with E, that will give me 5 volt. So this is the excitation potential that I need. So it means we need a battery whose potential difference, whose EMF is much greater than 5 volt. This is the first thing that you must have. This is the first hand information that you must possess. Before making a laser, you should know that what energy you are going to use for excitation, and correspondingly potential should be calculated by dividing that energy with E. Now we have found this potential. We will take the battery much more greater EMF than this. Let us say I will take it to be 100 times. So I can take here the battery to be of 500 volt. So if I take the battery here of 500 volt, then what is the meaning of this? An electron when it will be emitted from cathode, this is the cathode because it is negative potential, this is anode, it is positive potential. It will travel toward anode. In between, it will strike with gas molecules. Please remember, gas molecules are neutral, therefore their motion is random. These molecules can move in any direction while the electron is negatively charged, and it will move in a random in an ordered manner, and its direction of motion will be from cathode to anode. As a result of this, the gas molecule is traveling from cathode to anode. So this electron, if I assume that the length of this tube is let us say 100 centimeter, then the potential difference or the electric field, which is equal to potential gradient, it will be simply equal to potential difference that I have taken to be 500 volt, which is the EMF of the battery, and the total length of the tube, that is 100 centimeter. So that will be simply equal to 5 volt per centimeter. The meaning of this statement is that whenever electron will travel 1 centimeter in the space between cathode to anode, then according to work energy theorem, that theorem you have studied in +1 class, work energy theorem, it says that the energy given, kinetic energy given, is equal to charge into potential difference. So this is equal to therefore 5 eV per centimeter. So if an electron travels 1 centimeter distance, it will exactly get energy of 5 eV. So if an electron, after traveling 1 centimeter distance, it strikes with a gas molecule, during collision, electron will lose its kinetic energy to the molecule. The molecule will go to excited state and electron will lose kinetic energy, but because of the potential difference, it will again start accelerating, then it will get kinetic energy, then after 1 centimeter it will collide with another molecule. If it happens as we desire, if it happens exactly at 1 centimeter collision take place, mind it, it is not necessary. It is not necessary that every collision takes place at 1 centimeter. This is not in our control. We will therefore use efficiency. There may be certain probability of collision at 1 centimeter. That depends upon a parameter which we have studied in our +1 class in thermodynamics, that is mean free path. So I will not go into that detail, but I will just tell you that mean free path is responsible for the time after which, for the distance after which the collision will take place. So we can take control of mean free path by using the pressure of the gas inside the tube. I guess you know this. In your school physics you have studied that mean free path is a function of the pressure of the gas. So the gas concentration can be appropriately decided in the tube so that most of the collisions take place at a desired distance, and that desired distance according to our example, it is the 1 centimeter. So after 1 centimeter, let us say it is happening, collision is taking place at after 1 centimeter only, and as a result of this we can, since this distance is 100 centimeter, therefore one electron can at most excite 100 gas molecules. This is, please do not take it as a guaranteed statement, because it is just, this is as per the example that has taken. But kindly remember that 5 electron volt was not my parameter, it was given by some student. So if there are large number of electrons emitted simultaneously, even if the efficiency of this collision at 1 centimeter is not 100%, even then many collisions will take place, and we can get a population inversion during the electric discharge pumping, in which we are giving energy to the electrons. These electrons are transferring energy to the gas molecules, and gas molecules are eventually going to the excited state by getting the energy due to transfer of collision. I guess now electric discharge pumping will be clear to you. Is it okay? Should I go to the next part? Okay, next part
Yes, sir.
was uh, it was somebody has said kindly tell us about direct pumping. Was this?
Yes,
अपन
sir.
यही करना सीगा.
Sir, आही
Very
करना
good.
सी आज.
Direct pumping. Okay, let me tell you why it is called direct pumping, and it is also called electric pumping. There is huge difference between electric pumping and electric discharge pumping. ठीक है? Kindly remember, electric pumping is not same as electric discharge pumping. Both of these are very different from each other. First of all, let me clear why it is called a direct pumping. So let us see optical pumping or ruby laser. You have studied that ruby laser. Can you see this board? Oh.
No, sir. Sir, this will be live.
So please remember, electric pumping and electric discharge pumping are not the same. In case of optical pumping used in ruby laser, why it is indirect pumping. Why? Because we are using battery. Battery is giving energy to capacitor, and capacitor is ionizing xenon gas, which produces flash of light. That flash of light is absorbed by laser medium, which gives laser light. So therefore it is indirect pumping. Kindly see, laser light has to be given by laser medium, but we are not giving energy to it directly. We are giving energy to the capacitor. Capacitor is giving energy to xenon. Xenon is producing light. That light is being absorbed by the laser medium. Eventually laser light comes. So optical pumping is indirect pumping. Let us discuss about electric discharge pumping. We have just discussed electric discharge pumping in the previous slide. It is also indirect pumping. This pumping is indirect pumping. And in this, what happened? We used battery. Battery created potential difference, which gave kinetic energy to electrons. Electrons collided with gas molecules, and these gas molecules give laser light.
You are now
Okay,
muted.
so you can see that electric discharge pumping is indirect pumping because you are getting. Yes, can you hear my sound?
Hello?
Uh, sorry, there was a call, so I have to
Yes.
Yes, sir.
mute myself. Okay, so now you can see in case of electric discharge pumping, you are giving energy to the electrons and light is given by gas molecules. It is also indirect pumping because light is not given by electron, light is given by gas molecules. Energy is given to something else and light is given by something else. It is indirect pumping. Now, in case of electric pumping that I am going to teach you right now, you will see that the pumping is direct pumping. We will give energy to electrons, and the same electrons which are getting energy will produce light. Is it okay? Are you ready to understand that? I guess you are hearing me. Okay, I will go to the new page. Okay, Umori Jagdev is saying that they are hearing me. Okay, that's good. So let us now go to direct pumping, which is also called electric pumping. So kindly remember that this is the energy level diagram of, this is our valence band, this is conduction band. I will show it shaded because it is filled with electrons at 0 Kelvin, and I will show it unshaded. This is empty at 0 Kelvin. This is filled, and there is one level which is filled level here, and this level is filled with electrons, and this level is called donor level, and this is the energy level diagram of n-type semiconductor. Would you agree? Anybody? Please say yes sir that you have studied this diagram in your school physics. Similarly, let us say this is conduction band, this is valence band, there is an empty level. This level was filled. This is empty level. And this level is called acceptor level, and it is obtained by adding trivalent impurities, and such a material is called p-type semiconductor. So please tell me if you have studied these things. At least one student should say yes sir or type in the chat box. Okay, you have studied it. Very good. So at least you have the knowledge of these things. Let us now, Sonu Kumar is saying no sir. Why Sonu Kumar? This is in your syllabus at school physics. You should have studied band band theory of solids in semiconductors chapter. If you have not studied it, I would request you to please study that from school physics. Okay. Okay, what happens now? We want to make a p-n junction diode. When we join a p-n junction diode, then this material and this material are joined, and between them a region is formed. That region is called depletion region. First of all, you should also remember that this diagram, it is available only in case of low concentration. If the concentration of impurity is very small, then you will have this as band, this as band, but acceptor level will be sharp. Similarly, this will be band, conduction band, obviously that's why this will be band, but donor level will be sharp because the concentration of the impurity is very small. But in case of very high concentration, if we put very high concentration of impurity, then this donor level will also become a band. In that case, rather calling it to be donor level, I will call it to be donor band. Similarly, acceptor level, because of very high impurity, it also does not remain sharp and it becomes a band, and I will call it to be acceptor band. There is a level which is called Fermi level. There is a level which is called Fermi level, and Fermi level is a level which I guess Nandini madam has already told to you in this discussion so far, particularly to the students of CS C1 and C2, that Fermi level is a level at 0 Kelvin below which all states are filled. So in case of N-type semiconductor, this is Fermi level, all states are filled. And in case of p-type semiconductor, this is Fermi level, all states below it are filled. So please make sure that you understand this thing. The shaded region is the region filled with electrons, and unshaded region is the region free from electrons. So in case of high concentration, the donor level becomes donor band and it enters in the conduction band. Therefore, the conduction band is not fully empty. Is it okay? So this is where the concentration, the donor band and acceptor band could be seen. So Fermi level is here in case of conduction band, and Fermi level is here in case of valence band. When we join p-type material with n-type material, we join these. On joining these two materials, what happens? We have to see that a depletion region is formed.
You are now muted.
Okay, so this when we join, I will continue my discussion of this tutorial. Okay, तो मेरा 3 बजे भी आपको बता देता हूँ, मेरा 3 बजे भी ट्यूटोरियल है, 3 से 4। अगर आप फ्री हुए तब तो ट्यूटोरियल को ज्वाइन कर लेना, ठीक है? ओके, तो लेट मी नाउ गो टू नेक्स्ट पेज। नाउ व्हेन ओके, नो प्रॉब्लम
सर 3 तो 4 साडा हैगा
नो प्रॉब्लम, ये
सर,
ऑप्शनल
3 से
है,
4
अगर आप
क्लास
होगे
है।
तो कर लो ना, नहीं तो मैं दोबारा रिपीट करा दूंगा ये पार्ट, ठीक है? तो जब व्हाट हैपन्स, तो मेरा 5-6
Okay,
मिनट में
sir.
हो जाना है
Okay,
डायरेक्ट
sir.
पंपिंग। लुक व्हाट हैपन्स, जब हम इसको ज्वाइन करते हैं पी और एन टाइप मटीरियल को, तो ये एनर्जी लेवल डायग्राम कुछ ऐसा बन जाता है। ओके,
सर बोर्ड नहीं दिख रही है।
I guess now the board is visible. Okay, this
Yes,
energy
sir.
level
Yes,
diagram
sir.
becomes like this. Sorry for poor drawing, but I am writing on an electronic board. Because of that, freehand drawing is not as good as this. So you can see, if I draw a line here and here, this line is, if I show you previous page, you can see, you can appreciate that, you can see this is shaded, then we have empty region, then there is a gap, then we have empty band, and see here, this is shaded, then we have empty region, then we have gap. So this I think then there is an energy gap, then there is an energy gap, and then after that we have a gap. This is therefore conduction band, this is therefore acceptor band, this is therefore valence band, this will be therefore Fermi level. And if you can appreciate, you can see that this diagram and this diagram, both of these are similar. So this is the energy level diagram of p type. Similarly, this is the energy level diagram of n type. You can see it very easily. So this is filled, This should be filled. I think I made a wrong line here. It should be filled. Then this should also be filled. And this should also be filled. And this should be empty. Let me call this as region ABC. And let me call this as region DEF. You can see ABC region. Please remember this full region which is filled, it is a donor band. I will show you. You can see donor band is a part of a conduction band. You can see there this donor band is a part of conduction band. It is a rectangular in this part, and in this part it is approximately triangular. Why it is not rectangular in this region? It is because of the formation of depletion region. Please remember this is a depletion region. And in case of depletion region, you know that the depletion region is formed when we join N-type material with a P-type material. Then electrons from N diffuse into P, and as a result a region is formed near the junction where the concentration of electrons and holes is very small. Rather we have immobile ions. So in case of N-type we have positive ions, in case of P-type we have negative ions. Such a region is called depletion region, and here we have junction. So this dotted line is it is in fact not line, it is in fact a surface. This is called junction. To the left of this the region is P, to the right of this dotted surface the region is N. So this is the formation of a diode. This is unbiased diode. And in case of unbiased diode, the Fermi level along N side and the Fermi level along P side have same energy. Now let us give biasing. Let us give forward bias to it. Forward bias, you know, you connect P type with the positive. So I will give positive potential on this side. I will not be showing battery, and let us connect negative terminal of the battery on N side. So let me give negative potential on right hand side. So this positive and negative are indicative that now you have not kept it unbiased. Now you have given it forward bias. When you give forward bias, then the negative terminal of the battery will supply electrons, and positive terminal of the battery will take away electrons. And according to law of conservation of charge, the number of electrons entering in the semiconductor from the negative terminal of battery in a given time will be same as number of electrons leaving the semiconductor from positive terminal of the battery. Since the electrons are entering in the N side from the negative terminal of battery, therefore Fermi level or the donor band will start going upward like this. More you supply current, more will be the number of electrons entering in the material, and as a result you can have this donor band will start increasing in size. In the same way, since the electrons are leaving this P region, so therefore the acceptor band will increase in size, or you can say the number of electrons in the P side will decrease. So this empty region will increase in size, let us say up to this point. So a stage will reach, you can see this region DEF has now increased. Similarly, region ABC has also increased, and you can very easily see that this is filled region. This region which I am now shading, ABC, this region is filled part of the donor band, and it is above, and this is empty part of the donor band, and this is below. And we know that this is population inversion. Population inversion is what? When we have more electrons in higher states, that is called population inversion. So population inversion has achieved. Now if the excitation takes place from ABC to DEF, then we will get laser action. Now this is called electric pumping. It is not electric discharge pumping because no discharge has taken place. It is called electric pumping because we are just supplying the electrons. Why it should be called direct pumping? You should give the answer to it yourself. These are the electrons which were supplied by the battery, and these are the same electrons which when move from donor band to acceptor band, these electrons release photons. So you are giving the energy to the electrons, and the same electrons are releasing photons. That is why the electric pumping is also called direct pumping. So this was all about today's lecture. I hope you would have enjoyed it. If you have any question, you can ask it within 1 minute. After that I will stop.
सर आपने
yes.
इस लेक्चर का सर YouTube पे डालोगे सर, क्योंकि सर ज्वाइन ही अभी
Okay,
अभी किया
I will
सर, पता
upload
नहीं
it.
था सर डाटा
Any
बंद
other
था।
question? Okay,
Yes, sir.
good luck to you
No,
and join your next lecture. Thank you.